Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot readings from the heart. So what we're doing is we are doing your mid-month reading, 16th to the 31st of October 2017, and it's a love reading. So what we've got, you'll notice that on the channel there are bonus readings for you guys. So the how does he, she feel about me reading, the extended love reading, Celtic Cross reading. But usually those are bonus readings, so those are just readings that I like to give to the channel every now and again. But usually the standard readings from now on would always be the bi-weekly readings, so 1st to the 15th and then 16th to the end of the month. And what we're doing is we're splitting the love readings now. So if you're single, this is your you already have your reading for singles. This reading is readings for couples, okay? So if you're in a coupled up relationship with someone, if you're in a relationship that should be a couple, for example, however you want to play it, but if you consider yourself to be a part of a relationship with someone, then this reading will be for you, Pisces, okay? So you've got readings for singles, love reading for singles, Gypsy Tarot spread, love reading for couples, Gypsy Tarot love spread, and also your third reading is the general, just the general overview for the last 2 weeks. So that's how we're doing the channel, okay? So we're using, as usual, the Witch's Tarot. Gypsy Tarot. This is the actual deck that I use. So this is my YouTube Gypsy Tarot Love Spread Tarot deck using the Witch's Tarot, okay? We've also got, if I need clarifiers in this reading, the miniature edition Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And as your advice at the end of the reading, we've got the Romance Angels, okay? So without further ado, let's make a start on your reading. Universe Spirit, this is a reading for Pisces, those who are actually in a relationship with someone. Show me Pisces, show me Pisces. What's going on for Pisces? Pisces. I want to see those who are actually in relationships with people. What's going on for them in terms of love? Show me Pisces, Sun and Rising signs. Pisces, Sun and Rising signs. All I want to see are those Pisces who are actually in relationships. Show me what's coming in for the general energies around Pisces who are in relationships. Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Show me Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. The last 2 weeks in October 2017, Pisces, those who are in a couple, what are the energies around Pisces who are actually in coupled up relationships in the last 2 weeks of October 2017? Show me. Alright, so Pisces, what we're going to do, we're going to do the Gypsy Tarot the way I used to do before. I don't mind the way, the past, present, future sort of thing that I was doing before, but I prefer doing it this way, okay? It just feels fuller in this way, okay? And this is where you get the 7 areas: the mental, emotional, the present situation, blah blah blah. So we've got 7 cards at the top here. Let's pull these across a little bit here. That's 4, 5. Just want to make sure that my remote is turned down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And what I generally try and do now is turn over the cards at the bottom. We take 3. We've got the 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups in the reverse, and 2 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so as the general energies around you guys, we'll pull these up a little bit here. So it's interesting, the 10 of Pentacles is about a strong, stable relationship. The 7 of Cups in the reverse is where things are very clear. Sometimes this can be that there is an overwhelming, there's an overwhelming need, well, there's an overwhelmment in choices that need to be made as well. So this can mean that there are, you know, when you get the Seven of Cups in the upright, it's a confusing energy. So this would represent confusion or many choices or options. Sometimes this can be where you're overwhelmed by the amount of options or things that you've got to do. And the Two of Swords in the reverse often represents stagnant energy, the inability to make a choice. It seems to me that there is a strong, stable relationship here, but it's almost like within this relationship you're overwhelmed by the amount of choices that you've got to make around that relationship. And I think that something's coming to a little bit of an impasse here, because Two of Swords in the reverse is impasse. It's where something's coming to a point of stagnation, and it's very difficult to make some form of a choice. So for some reason, and we'll get this together when we go through the reading, there is a stable relationship, Ten of Pentacles for some of you guys, Pisces, but you're overwhelmed by many choices that you've got. So it might just simply be that within this relationship for some of you Pisces people, that, you know, the Seven of Cups in the reverse might just simply be, how do you manage the relationship with the partner? Because the Seven of Cups in the reverse can mean where you're overwhelmed by many things in the relationship, and things are really at an impasse. So what I feel that's going on here, the overall energy for the last 2 weeks in October 2017, Pisces, for those of you who are actually in a relationship, I think that your relationship looks solid to me, because you've got that Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, which is really nice. And I'm glad that we've got, sorry, in the upright, which is really nice. But I feel that within that relationship, it might be making time for you and the partner might be slightly difficult for some reason or other. Because you're overwhelmed by many things that you've got to choose from. You're overwhelmed by, you know, it could be anything. It could be if you've got children, you know, who does the childcare? Maybe one of you wants to go out with your friends, leaving one of you at home, having to look after the kids. It could be, you know, who does the cleaning, who does this, who does that. You're overwhelmed by many things that you need to take care of. So really the Seven of Cups in the reverse, for me, if you're overwhelmed by many things that you need to decide on, many decisions that need to be made within this relationship, it might mean that you don't come to a point of clarity. That there's a lot of stuck energy. There's the inability to kind of, because you've got the impasse card of the Two of Swords in the reverse, and you've also got the Seven of Cups in the reverse, which can often mean being overwhelmed by many options or many choices that need to be made. And it's leaving the relationship at a little bit of an impasse. So I don't see any serious issues so far in the overall energy. I think that these might be just day-to-day things within the relationship that might be causing a few little niggles here, because it might be that both you and your partner really at the moment in the last 2 weeks of October can't reach any sort of strong decisions over who does what or what direction certain things go in the relationship. Let's have a look at if we can open this up a little bit more with this energy here. The situation around your mental and emotional is, well, there's a little bit of worry going on. Yeah, Nine of Swords shows up. So the situation is that one of you is worried, or there's just simply worry, anxieties going on in the relationship. Mentally and emotionally, Pisces, how are you dealing with this Nine of Swords? Well, the Hierophant. The Hierophant mentally is where you stand in your own truth and your own power. So sometimes the Hierophant, because the Hierophant represents strong ideas, conventional thoughts in terms of the way that you do things. For example, this is the card about conventional wisdom. When you get the Hierophant in the upright, this is always about guidance. I feel that mentally being, you know, mentally how you deal with the Nine of Swords with the Hierophant is by taking more of a traditional line on how you deal with whatever this worry is. So I feel that mentally you're feeling very, this is also for me about taking charge. So I think that mentally you're probably taking charge in terms of whatever's going on here in the relationship. Emotionally, I feel that you're allowing your inner guidance system to guide you, Pisces. So I don't see that you guys are really taking any prisoners here. Okay, I feel that you're very much, I feel a very strong sense of leadership mentally and emotionally in terms of whatever it is that's worrying you guys or whatever problems you might have within the relationship here. And what's the reason for that? Well, the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So the Queen of Wands in the reverse often means somebody who is, she can mean two things. She can mean, number one, that somebody is very insecure because she's very, you know, the thing with the queens is all of them, when they're in the upright, they are all kind of on this very balanced plateau, if that makes any sense. So, You know, the Queen of Wands is somebody who knows who she is. She's fearless, she's sexy, she's ambitious, she's motivated, she's driven, she's extraordinarily confident. But they never, all of the queens when they're in the upright, they never go over that line, you know. So they're always balanced in the upright, as are all of the kings. All of the cards when they're in the upright, pretty much, most of the cards in the tarot in the upright show balanced energy, okay? As a standalone card, they're balanced in their energy. So the Queen of Cups in the upright, for example, would be somebody who is very intelligent, emotionally intelligent. She's very emotionally articulate. She knows how to get into somebody's head by empathizing and sympathizing with them. But in the reverse, she's her own worst enemy, because the things that she would tackle in a very good way, being in her upright position, she doesn't tackle very much in a very good way in the reverse. So she can swing from being a highly insecure Queen of Cups can, in the reverse, to being a high drama queen. So she, you know, it's a pendulum when they're in the reverse. They swing from one energy to the other, but they're always very dramatic and they're always very violent energies in a way when these cards are in the reverse. And it's the same thing for the Queen of Wands. In the upright, she knows who she is. She can balance everything at once. She's really good at kind of balancing the children and balancing work and going to the gym and having a sex life and all of that stuff. The Queen of Wands is when she's in the upright. But when she's like this in the reverse, she can either swing from being deeply insecure, deeply shy, to being overly bossy. So some of you guys, it might be that there are worries. The situation might be that there are worries within your relationship here. And mentally and emotionally, it's good, because you're dealing with it in the way that a Hierophant would deal with it. And the Hierophant is somebody who's highly educated, somebody who's deeply spiritual, somebody who is very wise. So in terms of the mental capacity to deal with whatever this is, you're taking the conventional and traditional line, i.e., right, let's sort this out. We're going to, because this is a leader, so this is a leader of men. And when he's there, he's opening up the keys, the door to wisdom. So mentally, how you're dealing with this is by putting whatever this energy is here into some form of order, by taking the reins. Emotionally, you're allowing your inner guidance to channel through you, Pisces, and guide you in terms of how you deal with this energy. And it's because of the Queen of Wands energy. For some of you guys, it might be that there is a deep-rooted fear and insecurity on how you're actually going to deal with it, because she's not very good with dealing with situations. She's totally kind of nervous and anxious as in her reverse. For some of you guys, it might be that you're dealing with somebody, could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, who's extremely bossy and wants things all of their own way. Hence why we've got these energies here. You've got a relationship here, but there's a little bit of a conundrum going on with this Seven of Cups in the reverse. And as a result of that, you come to a little bit of an impasse with another individual. So if that's the case, it might be that you're dealing with somebody who's highly bossy and wants things their own way. And it might be, by the same token, this is making you feel a little bit insecure, but still you're holding your head and you're holding your strength there with the Hierophant in the upright. What's the situation? Well, justice. Some of you guys, the situation will be that a big decision needs to be made around a situation. It might be something legal as well when you've got the Justice card showing up here, okay? Let's say it might be that you received something with this Justice energy. Let's have a look at what the present situation is around that. Well, karma. So the situation with karma is where things have erupted. They've come back to haunt us in a way. I think that a situation has come back around this justice, and I feel that the situation being justice, when you get justice and the karma card together, so you've got judgment and justice, it means that something that is meant to be has been. It's come to its full cycle, because the judgment card is all about things that have been suppressed, they haven't been dealt with. So for example, you could have judgment and the Ten of Cups. You're seeing people from the past that you haven't seen in a long time. They've been gone for a long time and suddenly they come back. So this is all about situations coming back to us. And I think that the situation around the justice energy is that there is something that hadn't been dealt with that is now being dealt with these two energies. And it had to be dealt with, because there was no way. Justice card refers to settlement of situations, whether these be legal situations. It could be something legal with the judgment and the justice card, certainly. But, there's a settlement here. The situation is settlement with this Justice card. And around that settlement, the situation is talking about a karma. It's talking about a situation that's come up and it's being reviewed. So I feel that around this Justice card, if this is about having to make a decision on something and the situation is karma, it might be that there is something in the relationship that is now being reviewed, because justice means settlement. So if the situation is about settling the score, settling the situation with the Justice card, around that, then I feel that there is something here in this relationship, Pisces, that is now up for a review with the karma energy. And what's the reason for that? Well, because of arguments within the relationship, the Five of Wands. Five of Wands often shows relationships in which there are arguments and conflicts. So I think something is up for review here with the karma energy. And around that, the situation is about justice. It's about settling this situation once and for all. Getting something back into a harmonious and agreeable state with the Justice energy. Around that, something now has come up for review within this relationship, and it's because you guys, some of you guys who are in relationships, aren't getting along with your partners. There's some form of dispute going on within the relationship. What is the your hopes and desires for you people who are in couples? Well, it's to get along. Three of Cups is about an agreement. So the situation is around you and your partner agreeing to something here with this Three of Cups. But what is it that you're hoping for? Well, the Fool in the reverse. So you're hoping that your partner, possibly, it's either your partner's hoping this or you're hoping this, that somebody doesn't do something here, because the Fool card in the reverse often means don't do it. So when you get the Fool card in the upright, it's about taking that leap of faith, going towards a fresh start, experiencing something that you haven't experienced before, being unafraid of the unknown. It's just about jumping into something new. But in the reverse, this person would say, actually, I'm not going to do that. He'd become more cautious. So your hopes are, it could be that there is the situation is about an agreement. Around that agreement, your hopes are that somebody agrees to be more cautious, or perhaps not to do something here, perhaps not to go away, for example, perhaps not to take that trip, perhaps not to invest in that business idea that you feel the partner might come a crop with. There's something you don't want the partner to do, or there's something the partner doesn't want you to do, Pisces, with this Fool in the reverse. And what's the reason for that? Well, because of the Ace of Pentacles. This might be something to do with money, for example, in terms of your relationships with your partners, okay? It could be something to do with an investment, because the Ace of Pentacles often represents where there is, all aces represent new beginnings, right? New concepts. With the Ace of Pentacles, it often refers to, for example, a new business idea or a new job, for example, with this Ace of Pentacles, or even purchasing, or the potential to purchase a new home. But whatever the Ace of Pentacles is, and I don't think it's because of your commitment, because the Ace of Pentacles in terms of love does represent commitment, but I don't, it might be that. It might be that your hopes are that the partner doesn't go and do something with this Fool energy showing here, because your partner should be committed to you and the family, for example. But it also might be that you're hoping your partner doesn't rush into something because of the Ace of Pentacles. It could be something to do with finances, job, business ideas, that type of thing. What's going on in your expectations? Well, the Two of Wands is the situation. So this is about making a decision. It's about being at a crossroads, but it's also about the partnership. So the situation around your expectations might be around your partnership. It could be something to do with business. Business partnership is the Two of Wands energy. But what's your expectations around that? Well, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So your expectations are, and it's funny because you've got the Fool. Your hopes are that the partner doesn't do something, or the partner doesn't want you to do something here with this Fool in the reverse. Because what you're expecting is that this will not work. Because you've got the Wheel of Fortune. It's not, if it's a money situation here for some of you Pisces, then your idea is, well, if you do this, it's not going to bring you anything. Because the situation is about, when you get the Two of Wands, it's not just about the partnership, it's also about approaching a new idea. So when you get the Two of Wands, it's about being fearless enough and motivated enough and ambitious enough to approach something of a new journey. when you get the Two of Wands, it's often about somebody's got this globe in their hands and they've got the wands by their sides, and what they're doing is they're going out and they're setting out on a new adventure. Usually it can be a new business adventure. It doesn't have to be that though. It can be any type of adventure. So we're seeing here the situation around the expectations is about some new adventure going on here. But your expectations are that this is not going to work out with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. It might take some time before it actually yields some form of rewards. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Lovers. That's an interesting energy showing there. Now, the Lovers in the upright isn't really about difficulties. It's about love, it's about union, it's about partnerships, but it's also about the choices that we make. We'll get more information on that card there. But there's you're expecting that this isn't going to work out. It might be something to do with the partner being in some form of a partnership here with the Lovers energy, because it references partnerships. It's not, you don't believe something's going to yield results here. You've got this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, your expectations, and your hopes are that the partner doesn't do something. It might be the other way around, where the partner doesn't want you to do something here, Pisces. But you certainly, with these two cards, you don't want the partner to do something, or the partner doesn't want you to do something, Pisces, because you don't think it's going to yield any results or any positive results, or if it is, and you think it's going to take a long time to do that. Interesting. What is it that you can't see coming in terms of this relationship? Well, the Emperor. So the situation is about somebody who's putting boundaries on a situation, somebody who's putting their foot down. What is it that you can't see coming in around that? Well, the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords represents withdrawal, or, and I'm seeing somebody refraining from doing something here, because the Four of Swords often means, well, we're not going to take up arms now. It's a very passive card, so it represents when somebody's not going to do something. What they'll do is they'll take time out and they'll contemplate it here. So I think the situation might be your energy, Pisces. You might be putting your foot down here, being the situation in which what you can't see coming in is that the partner, whoever this person is, they might therefore reluctantly say, okay, with the Four of Swords, all right, I will not go for whatever this thing is here, because you're hoping this person doesn't go for something here, and it's either because of your commitment or the vows that you've made to each other, or it's because of some form of a job or a business idea that you are expecting isn't going to yield much results. But it must be because of maybe the partnership that this person's in, because we've got the partnership card here of the Two of Wands. It could be a business partnership, something like that. But you don't want the partner to go for something here, and the situation will be about putting one's foot down with the Emperor, because the Emperor puts down their foot and they lay down boundaries. And what you can't see coming in as a result of doing that, I think somebody's going to refrain from doing, whether this is you or the partner, one of you is going to be refraining. You're going to be actually giving in with this Four of Swords. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Nine of Pentacles. I'm wondering if some of you are afraid to be on your own, because this lady represents somebody that's on her own in a relationship. When you get couple readings, the Nine of Pentacles says somebody feels outside of a relationship. They feel that they're having to do everything on their own. They're in the relationship, but they don't feel that they're being taken notice of. And I'm wondering if the partner, or whether it's you or the partner, Pisces, refrains from doing something because they recognise that you are not feeling a part of this, or you're going to be feeling on your own, sort of twiddling your thumbs or whatever it is. Let's have a look at the immediate future. We've got the Four of Cups, so the situation is around disappointment, apathy and boredom and upset. What's going on around that? The Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel that one of you is going to be feeling very... she's a difficult card to explain, because usually in the reverse, this shows us somebody who doesn't want to nurture or doesn't want to give to the family. So I think that the situation is going to be about disappointment. And around that, I think somebody's stamping their feet with this Queen of Pentacles reversed. Because this, it might be, if it's you, that the partner says, look, Pisces, I don't want you to do this. It might be with the Queen of Pentacles, you decide to stomp your feet and you say, well, I'm not going to cook your dinner then, or I'm not going to, I'm not going to do this for you, or I'm not going to do that for you. And, vice versa. If you're the one that's putting down your foot here, Pisces, then I feel that it will be the partner that says, right, fine, you know, you don't want me to do this, I'm disappointment in it, so therefore I'm not going to give you sex tonight, or I'm not going to, you know, I'm just not going to be loving, and I'm not going to be nurturing in this relationship. I'm just going to kind of withdraw completely. I'm seeing somebody withdrawing here on many levels with that Queen of Pentacles reversed. And what's the reason for that? They might have to say goodbye to a dream with the Ten of Cups. I think it's because one of you is having to say goodbye to a dream because the partner doesn't want, whether it's you or whether it's the partner, one of you is going to have to say goodbye to a dream. And that's because the partner, you or the partner, want it that way. You don't want the partner, or the partner doesn't want you to do something, or you don't want the partner to do something. And I think it's going to cause a bit of a problem. And this is why you're at an impasse here with the Two of Swords, because there are many, overwhelmed by many options within this relationship that reaches an impasse with the Two of Swords. What's the overall outcome? Well, the King of Swords is the overall outcome. So the King of Swords is usually to do with, there could be a situation that comes in where there is a little bit of emotional detachment within this relationship with that King of Swords. But what's going on around that? Well, yeah, the Chariot in the reverse. Stagnation within the Chariot in the overall outcome within the relationship. But I think it's small, to be perfectly honest with you. All right? I think there's emotional distance. Around that emotional distance, the overall outcome is the Chariot. So the Chariot in the reverse really represents stagnation, delays, lack of success, lack of happiness, lack of movement, the unresolving of a problem with that Chariot in the reverse. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Page of Cups in the reverse. And this is often where, you know, it's often where somebody's being very immature in terms of love. They're not being very mature in terms of the relationship. It could be that one of you feels very disillusioned by the relationship with that Page of Cups showing as reversed. Okay, a very, very interesting reading. I mean, I don't see, what I'm seeing here, I feel within this relationship for you guys is that one of you feels that you can't have what you want because the other one doesn't want you to have it. Okay, I want to see what this Lovers is about. We're going to go through the reading again. It was really interesting, but very, it felt very everyday in a way. It didn't, I'm glad to say I don't think there's any huge energies in here, but I certainly see some form of argument going on between some of you Pisces and your partners, because I see that one of you in the relationship wants to do something and the other one doesn't want you to do it. Really doesn't want you to do it at all because it thinks it will be a bad idea to do it. Maybe it will have an effect on the commitment with the Ace of Pentacles energy. Maybe this is something about money that needs to be spent on a project and you're feeling it's a bad deal with that Wheel of the Year in the reverse. This is Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse means that you don't have the lucky break. It means something might take a long time to evolve or come to fruition. You know, it means that you don't get what you want. It's not happening as quickly. It means that it's not necessarily, it can mean a little bit of a run of bad luck as well. But, you know, in the upright, really, it's about good and bad luck because the wheel keeps turning and turning and turning. But in the reverse, it says that, well, nothing is coming through at all, really. So I feel, I get the impression that one of you doesn't want one of the your partner. Either one of you in the relationship doesn't want the other one to do something here. Possibly because, I mean, it could be for selfish reasons. It could be. You know, we're going to get why the, in the expectations universe, why is it that the Lovers is the reason for Pisces expecting the Wheel of the Fortune in the reverse? Why is it the Lovers, why is the Lovers the reason for Pisces expecting the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, show me? Queen of Cups. Well, I think it's more to do Pisces, because this can easily be your energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy. I think it's intuition saying that something is going to take a long time to come to fruition, okay? Because you've got, I mean, you know, it could be that the partnership is, you know, between, you know, especially if this is you, Pisces and maybe a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus individual. But this would usually be Virgo anyway. But it could also be, you know, here, the situation around your expectations is about a partnership. So the situation is about a partnership. But around that partnership, you're expecting that this isn't really going to, things are going to take a long time to evolve. And if this is about a new journey or some form of new idea that one is kind of, because when you get the Two of Wands, this is all about some form of a new journey. I'm trying to get my words out here and think about what I'm trying to say. This is about some form of new journey. When you get the Two of Wands, somebody is very sort of excited, and they're enthusiastic enough to say, okay, there's a new journey I'm going on and I want to seek out what this is about. So this is about seeking something new. It's about building new relationships, the Two of Wands. It's about proceeding in a new direction. So it's about taking a new direction. So the situation could be about something of a new direction, but your expectations around this new direction is that this is going to be something that takes a long time to evolve. It might not yield the results that the partner is expecting it's going to yield, and that's because of the partnership. Well, what is it about the partnership? It might be that your intuition is telling you that this partnership with the Knight of Pentacles is just going to take, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is a long time. It talks about long-term energies. It doesn't move very fast. So there's something about something not moving very fast here for some of you guys. I think you lack belief in something. We're going to get these energies again anyway and have a look at what's going on here, because I think that this is why I was saying that I felt for a lot of you guys your relationship is stable. I just felt the relationship is stable, that you've got some issues that you need to deal with here, and I think that these issues are so, because this is, when you get the Seven of Cups sometimes in the reverse, it represents somebody feeling overwhelmed by choices, and it brings an impasse to a relationship with that Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords in the reverse can sometimes mean, you know, one-sided energy as well. So there's a bit, you know, things reach a little bit of an impasse here. But I feel that this is more about somebody who's backing down because of the other partner. So the situation, the overall energies are showing a strong relationship here, but there are many things to consider with that Seven of Cups. And because there's such an overwhelming energy for some of you committed Pisces, people that are in relationships, it might be that something is reaching an impasse here because choices are just really difficult to make. And that will probably be the overall energy for between the 16th and the 31st of October 2017. In the mental and emotional, their situation is about a worrying situation with that Nine of Swords. But mentally and emotionally, you're taking ownership and you're really kind of putting yourself at the forefront, and you're taking, you know, mentally you're putting yourself in a leadership position. So you're taking responsibility and you're taking ownership of the relationship, of the situation, with the Hierophant energy showing here. And that's because of the Queen of Wands. It's either that, you know, you're having to emotionally and mentally really kind of take the reins and take control of the situation. Okay, okay, this is what needs to be done, because remember the Hierophant is a leader of people. Okay, so this is what needs to be done because of the Queen of Wands in the reverse. It might be that underneath everything there's a lot of insecurity going on, or it might be with this Queen of Wands energy that there is a bossy energy around you, somebody who has the potential to override you on a situation, but it might be where you need to take the reins over this Queen of Wands because of the Queen of Wands in reverse. And the Queen of Wands in reverse can either be somebody who's very sensitive, very insecure, or they can be very, very bossy. And problem with the Queen of Wands in the reverse is when she wants something, she really wants it, and that's it. You know, it's her way or the highway. It's, you know, and some of you guys will need to, with this High Priest, mentally and emotionally, you will be looking to assert yourselves, because if you don't assert yourself, somebody's going to assert themselves over you probably here. In the present situation, you've got the situation being justice. So there's a big decision being made, and around that decision, in the present, it's about something that is up for a review here with the Karma energy showing, stroke judgment energy. Something's come up for a review, and that's because there's been a fight going on, some form of conflict. So here we've got energies where something needs to be sorted out between you and a partner. It's up for a review and it needs to be cleansed, cleared and sorted out with these cards. Your hopes, well, the situation is about having an agreement. Now around that agreement, your hopes will be that the partner, it could be either way, but we'll read it as you. Your hopes would be that the partner doesn't do something here with the Fool energy in the reverse. That's what you want. Because the Fool energy in the reverse is not to make a mistake. When you get the Fool in the reverse, it says, actually, I'm not going to do this because it might not be a very good thing. This Fool in the reverse is somebody who's always overly cautious. When it's in the upright, it's somebody who says, oh, hang cautiousness. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. You know, I don't know what it entails. I don't know where it's going to take me, but, you know, I'm up for the ride. In the reverse, he becomes far more cautious and far more diligent. Okay, far more pragmatic, and he's using his common sense a little bit more. He becomes far more nervous and scared to take risks. So your hopes are that there'll be an agreement for this person not to take the risk or not to go for something. And it could be because they've got to put their money into it, maybe with the Eight of Pentacles. It might be something to do with a new job, for example. It might be something to do with moving somewhere else, for example, with the Eight of Pentacles. And it might simply be because of the commitment or the vows that you've made to each other, especially if this person's got to go away for a while and you say, but we made vows to stay together and never to be apart for, say, more than a night, and maybe this person's got to go away for 2 weeks or something like that. We've got the Two of Wands being the situation around your expectations. So the Two of Wands is about partnerships, but also it references new approaches and also some form of a new direction. But around that new direction or partnership, your expectations are the Wheel of the Year, so the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, that this isn't really going to take off. This isn't, if this is something new that you're walking into, that your partner's walking into, Cancerians, it could be that your expectations around that is that this will not prosper, it won't give any particular type of rewards because of the Lover's energy, okay? And the Lover's energy, I wouldn't say it's because of choices, I would say it's because maybe the company that this person is in with the Lovers. And why is that? I don't know whether this is about intuition. I think it's something to do with your intuition. It could be because of a Knight of Pentacles. Maybe it's somebody that the partner is involved with. It could be a Virgo individual. Maybe you feel that, you know, somebody, your partner is going away, they're going to do something, they're making it, you know, they want to venture into doing something, but it might be with someone, say a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn individual, and this person is very kind of interested maybe with this Knight of Pentacles energy showing up here. Or maybe it's your intuition that maybe with this partnership things are just going to move really slowly. I don't know whether you're doing it because, if it's you that's doing it, Cancer, and you don't want your partner to do something here, I don't know whether it's doing it because you're afraid of who your partner is doing the thing with, or whether it's that you're afraid that the partner might be making a mistake. It's one of the two. The hidden factors are showing the situation is about the Emperor, and this is about laying down those boundaries and putting your foot down around the situation, in which what you can't see coming in is that the partner will eventually concede. So they'll agree with you and they'll say, fine, okay. And why is that? Because of the Nine of Pentacles. It might be some of you guys don't want to be left on your own with this Nine of Pentacles energy. Alright, you're not worrying on the Nine of Pentacles, of course you're not, but it is nevertheless showing somebody on who feels on their own in a relationship. The immediate future as a result of all of this energy does show that there's going to be the situation of unhappiness coming in for some of you guys. And around that unhappiness, somebody's going to be stamping their feet and they will be very reluctant to be nurturing, to be sexual, to be kind, to be loving within the relationship. They're going to become quite selfish in the relationship. And that's because it might be that they have to kiss a dream goodbye with this Ten of Cups showing up here as the reason. The overall outcome shows, well, I think there's going to be some emotional distance because of this situation. And what is going on around this emotional distance? The Chariot in the reverse. And the Chariot in the reverse represents stuck energy, opposition causing problems. It also, when you get the Chariot in the reverse, the decisions that you make are the wrong decisions, and they threaten to take everything off course, and they threaten to turn everything upside down. So don't be surprised if things kind of look a bit rocky and a bit shaky for a bit, and that's because of the Page of Cups in the reverse. Some people, you know, whether it's you or the partner that's doing this, there'll be disillusionment, but also there'll be great stomping of feet and not knowing how to deal with the situation in a very mature way. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to get the advice cards from the tarot, the Romance Angels. Universe Spirit, what is the advice that you have for Pisces? What is the advice that you have for Pisces? Those who are in relationships. What is the advice that you have for Pisces in this reading? Show me. It says, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So it's telling you to make the effort in the relationship, and that great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay? And that's your advice. Alright. Yeah, that's your reading, guys. I would like to say thanks ever so much for you guys who are coupled up. And I'll see you on the generals. Take care.